Hi there, welcome to the Bob and Ron Show.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Ron. Today's April 2nd and marks the first ever Bob and Ron Show. And Bob, can you tell us a little bit what this show is going to do for us?
I'm on it, Ron. I'll tell you, it's great. We are here servicing the Metro Detroit area. We're greatest sports fans in the world. I'll tell you, Lions, Red Wings, Tigers. And, we do have Pistons fans, although I have to say I'm not a big basketball fan.
And don't forget colleges.
Exactly. But anyway, what we're going to do is, is we're going to be, we're broadcasting 2 times a week, and we are going to be covering the bases. We're going to be talking about the Tigers. Opening day just around the corner right now, and, there's always something to talk about with these teams. And, hopefully we're going to be getting from the fans. We got some feedback. We have an email line. Please send us your questions, your feedback. If there's something you want to hear on the show, let us know, and we'll get to it. But I'll tell you, we're just going to be here, and we're just going to be having fun. We're going to be talking, sharing our opinions about the teams, and, when it comes down to it, it's all about Detroit.
Well, I think we're going to go on down to the Rondown. Today we're going to be talking about the Red Wings and their win last night over the Columbus Blue Jackets, 2-1.
Huge win, Ron.
Huge win, yes. And we're going to go into the playoff race. We're going to do the matchups that we think are projected right now in the standings as of last night. And then we're going to hit some MSU Final Four. They're in the Final Four, Bob. Who would have thought that?
They definitely had their fair share of doubters. But I'll tell you, I'm extremely excited for this game tomorrow night. I might even call off work. I'm scheduled to work 12:30 to 9. Hopefully, that goes well and I can watch the game.
And also Monday is the opener for the Tigers. They're playing Kansas City. And also, for a quick note, this coming Friday is opening day at Comerica Park, and me and Bob will be there. Bob, tell me what we're going to do there.
So, we're going to be on the streets mixing it up with the fans. Might have a couple beers down there, grab a burger, but I'll tell you, we're going to be on the streets with a microphone, interviewing and talking to you guys out there, just saying, what are your opinions for this team? What do you expect from this Tigers team? Do you think Dontrell is going to come back? Do you think Scott Sizemore can fill those shoes of Placido Polanco? I'll tell you, there's a lot of doubts. There's a lot of optimism, Ron, and that's the thing. I'll tell you, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be fun to get out there and see what you fans are thinking about this team. So if you're down there next Friday, definitely look for us, as we will be on the prowl in Metro Detroit.
And that is the Rondown. Now we're moving on back to the Red Wings. 2-1 over Columbus last night. Bob, how'd the game go?
Ron, I tell you,
let's start with Jimmy Howard.
Okay, thank you. I had a little trouble.
It's all good.
Organizing my thoughts there. Howard was huge. Once again, I'll tell you, he keeps building that resume for the Calder Trophy. I think he's the leading candidate. You have to give it to the kid. He's been young. He's been solid. And, I love him right now. I don't think there's... we haven't seen a goaltending performance like this, since probably Hasek in 2002 and Mike Vernon, your favorite.
Well, yeah, that. I also think Ken Dryden was one of the last goalies that was a rookie to win the Stanley Cup. He could be in those footsteps right now.
Ron, okay, I don't care who you are, what team you're playing for. If you're under 25 years old and you're being mentioned in the same sentence as Ken Dryden for whatever, I think you're on the right track. And, Howard, once again, was huge last night. Columbus does have a threat. Rick Nash is back. He's skating well. They got a lot of potential on that team. They're young and they're hungry. And I'll tell you, Howard was clutch last night. Datsuk put an early one in. They were up 1-0, which was a nice goal. It's good to see him, getting back on there and scoring. But, after the game was tied up at 1, and, Wings held strong. Their defensive performance was excellent, and that was huge. So it was great to see him win. Hottest team in the NHL right now.
Their 7th straight win.
7 straight? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. It's their longest of the year so far. As you remember, they were banged up.
I'd say I feel really bad for whoever has Detroit in the first round of the playoffs, because they're going to be going against a hot team, and you know what happens when you go against hot things. You get burned.
And leading into that, who are they going to play? Well, right now it seems that they're going to play Vancouver, a 3-6 matchup. Detroit has 95 points. And
Ron, that Vancouver's a dangerous team.
Oh, yes.
And you have Roberto Luongo in the net. You have a potential Hart Trophy winner in Henrik Sedin. You have his twin brother, Daniel. You ever see those guys cycle the puck on power play? Unbelievable. this could be... Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. That would be a first-round matchup. But what I'm saying is that I think, as you and I were talking earlier, I think this could be shape up to be one of the most exciting postseasons in recent memory.
Definitely. We're gonna we'll stay here. Vancouver. What do you think their strengths are? You said Henrik, the Sedin brothers. They are second in goals scored.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they're up in third place right now.
Also-
they score a ton of goals.
And Ron, another thing about this team is that when they're playing in Vancouver, they are dangerous. They've won 28 games there this year, and they've only lost 8. So,
And
I mean, well, in regulation, and a couple overtime losses in there, I think. But yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, and the Wings are great at home. So I mean, this could come down to who gets the home ice advantage. And right now, that's Vancouver, and I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Both teams are going to be playing their best hockey of the year.
And Detroit, obviously, probably their strength is probably their veteran leadership. They've won a couple cups in the past couple of years. They've been to the cup a couple last 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, but the weakness could be Jimmy Howard. He has not proven him. He hasn't played any a Stanley Cup playoff game yet. So
Yeah, but I think he has a guy like Chris Osgood backing him up, and I think Osgood, with having his presence there on the bench, I think that kind of helps calm Howard's nerves down. But I'll tell you, he's real put together. I mean, he's a very, very calm, and his demeanor is where it needs to be at this stage in his career. And I'll tell you, you don't get that experience unless you go there. He's got to do it sometime.
that's true.
And with the way he's playing now, I don't see him, just collapsing. But we all know what happened to Mason last year.
Oh, yeah.
This kid down in Columbus, unbelievable rookie season, and it goes down, and I think they went down in 6th last year versus the Wings.
I believe so.
And so it depends. You have to have a complete team. But right now the Wings are healthy, and with all the veterans. I mean, Datsyuk, Zetterberg, Lindstrom. I mean, you have guys. Like Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby. They won 3 Stanley Cups here. They've been there before, and this team knows how to do it when it comes down to the postseason.
Well, Detroit has a chance to jump up ahead of Nashville. They're only 1 point behind, and if that happens, they're looking at playing Phoenix. I see them matching up against Phoenix.
Phoenix is an absolute, they're a dangerous team.
They're Cinderella.
They are. They are a Cinderella. I mean, they're a powder keg. Boom! They're waiting to explode, Ron. I'll tell you, this team, one of 3 teams in the conference that has 100 points. And who would have expected that? Nobody. Brizgalov.
Bankruptcy and then this?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Gretzky's gone.
They don't even have an owner right now.
Gretzky's gone. Gretzky is gone, Ron. And I think that is the best thing that ever happened to this team. I love Wayne Gretzky. You're not going to see a bigger Gretzky fan than this guy right here. But I'll tell you, it's a good thing he's gone. He didn't know how to run that team. He's out of there. Who's running it now?
The NHL, Gary Bettman and Bill Daly, I believe.
I'll tell you, the league knows how to run teams.
Definitely. Also, there's a possibility that they could play Chicago. Chicago is lapsing lately. They could fall into that 3rd or 4th spot.
Central Division rivalry. I mean, Chicago, Detroit. I mean, it goes back to '97 when they played each other in the conference finals with the young Chris Chelios on the blue line for this Blackhawks team.
Definitely.
When they had JR over there. I mean, Eddie Belfour.
Or Daze.
Eric Daze, number 55, one of my all-time faves. But I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better. I mean, the only thing better than postseason hockey is rivalry postseason hockey. That's what we could have. But I'll tell you, I mean, all in all, throughout this conference, you have teams like, San Jose, you have teams like Nashville, I mean, who snuck in to be a 5 seed right now. And you also have teams...
I'll tell you what, Nashville, greatest coaching, Barry Trotz. He's been there forever, and he gets that team to the playoffs every single year.
Yeah, and, we haven't really seen them make a lot of noise in the playoffs, but I think Nashville, it's only a matter of time before they start to succeed.
I agree. And we're talking about San Jose. Can you tell us, what makes San Jose so dangerous, other than them choking the playoffs? But if they got in, what would make them the most dangerous, you think?
Nabokov. I mean,
wow.
He's an absolute knockout in the goal. And I don't mean he's a hot-looking babe. He's a knockout in terms of he'll knock you on your... Keister, thank you. I don't want to be dropping any bombs here in the air. But, yeah, I mean, the guy's great. Nabokov, I mean, he'll shut you out. He'll get some huge saves, and he's the X factor. If he does well, this team does well. If he does poorly, the team does poorly. But I have to tell you, Ron, they also are great on special teams. You got guys like Ryan Clough out there. He's putting the power play goals. Patrick Marleau is having a career year.
Oh, yeah.
And, guys like Joe Thornton who can set up a play all the time. And Danny Heatley. And there was a huge...
huge off-season acquisition.
Right, at the beginning of the year, you and I were talking about San Jose. When they got Danny Heatley. They did give up a lot to get him. They did.
Chichu Mahalik.